Well, Imagion Biosystems, a company that just completed phase 1 of a clinical trial for early detection of cancer, has appointed a new CEO, and actually today is his first day. So let's welcome to the program Isaac Bright, CEO of Imagion Biosystems. Boy, Isaac, they've put you to work right away. Just talk us through how you've ended up taking the helm.
Oh, great. Thank you for having me. Imagion Biosystems is a fascinating case where, they've taken some real pioneering steps to advance a core technology and now had convergence of that core technology with what has become standard fare in biopharmaceuticals, where there's very targeted molecular therapies available now. We have targeted molecular imaging available with Imagion Biosystems. So it's been really a baptism by fire. I'm drinking from the fire hose, but it's been a really good experience in my first day. My background, I'm a physician by training, and certainly learned an awful lot about cancer and diagnostic imaging, diagnostic testing broadly, working through my courses on my path to becoming a physician. But I've spent most of my career in the strategic and operating space, first with large companies, and then most recently for 15 years or so in the startup context. And Imagion, I think, certainly qualifies as a startup, though we're listed. There are some fantastic growth opportunities that I expect we'll realize in the near term, and certainly leveraging this convergence of technologies with the nanoparticle technology and the core expertise we have in the team, married again to precise molecular targeting by numerous of different molecular methods. It's really intriguing and enticed me to take on this new role.
There's always a lot of balls in the air when you come to proving up this type of technology, and today also announcing that you've got enrollments for a phase 1 trial that is in relation to, the MagSense HER2 phase 1 study. It's always overwhelming for viewers, for investors, to sort of hear the titles of these products as well as the studies. But what is, that, for example, in the first instance, trying to prove up?
So in this instance, what Imagion has accomplished is leveraging the specific targeting of paramagnetic nanoparticle made of iron oxide that allows us to see very precisely where this particular marker HER2, one of the most common forms of breast cancer, where that has also been found, where it's metastasized. So oftentimes it's not a local tumor just in the breast tissue. It's known to metastasize through the lymphatics into the lymph nodes, particularly in the axilla or the armpit, if you will. So this is a technology that now discreetly and specifically calls out nodes that are positive in the axilla for the HER2 biomarker. And this is the first time that it's been done. This is a really pioneering effort that the team has accomplished. For me, that's just a great signal of where we can go. You look at what has happened in the last couple of decades in molecular therapies, where antibodies and other types of proteins and targeted therapies have had great success with very specific and precise targeting to get to higher efficacy and therapeutic outcomes. Now we can marry that specifically to high utility diagnostic information. And in this case, we've got a really key opportunity within a challenging disease state, breast cancer, where again we can see nodal disease that is specifically and now confirmed HER2 positive, as opposed to what the standard of care has been is an ambiguous sense of, gee, those nodes look irregular. They may be odd shaped, they may be a little larger than you expect, but it's far from a specific diagnosis. And the outcome for surgeons has been, well, we have to go get the nodes to find whether or not the answer is actually in the tissue. It is confirmed then by the tissue. In our case, this is the first time we're non-invasively and without any radioactive risk. A lot of the molecular imaging agents that are on the market now depend on radioactivity. Yeah. In our case, there's no radioactivity, and there's very specific and highly reliable targeting to the marker of interest, HER2. We're in the process now of developing the material to go into the FDA so that we have opportunities here in the States to run a phase 2 study, and we're excited about the work that's ongoing. This is a project that we think we'll have ready for submission by the end of the year.
Okay, end of calendar year. Interesting. Now, when it comes to just the business as well, I mean, is it essential, Isaac, is one of your main jobs as CEO to look for partnerships to actually bring this all to fruition?
Yeah, so one of the fantastic things about working in biotechnology and medical technology broadly is that this industry thrives on cooperation. And it's vital that our partners know that we have a reliable and proven platform that we can co-develop and collaborate with. This is now the first proof point where we've definitively shown in human trials now in phase 1 studies that we have that signal, that it's something that we can reproduce and rely upon, and that we now have opportunities to expand the pipeline broadly and accelerate that with partnerships. That is a key part of my intent. My background is very much, as I mentioned, in strategy and deal making, investing, and so I'll be focused on how do we find the best collaborators for the current programs that we have in the MagSense pipeline, and certainly to go beyond.
Yeah, okay. And partnerships, obviously the ultimate goal. Is there enough money in the kitty to fund these trials that you have ongoing? When do you anticipate you'll need to raise more? I know you've got a funding facility in place and look to raise some capital relatively recently, but I mean, it's just a money sucker.
It is a capital intensive business in many aspects. Candidly, in diagnostics, it's not as capitally intensive as it is in therapeutics, where I've spent a lot of time as well. So from that perspective, I believe we can be very capital efficient and still make some really good headway with the capital we have on hand. That being said, the nature of every startup, there is a balance of being opportunistic, and we'll drive the partnership conversations that we can, and then those that we have already started across the finish line, I'm sure.